Hello, you absolute legends. Welcome back to the channel. It's John here. We've got Dad who's starting work on the Rover 75. It's day one of the Rover 75 in the workshop. As you can see, Dad is cracking on. He's got the car jacked up already. At the front here, if you haven't seen Dad's reaction video, it's on the channel now. There's a bit to do, but it's one of them things that we're not really sure until we start having a good old look. I suspect there is a head gasket fault and a few other bits and pieces. Dad, being the Rover expert that he is going to have a look at it for us, and he's going to keep us up to date with what is going on. So we're going to do what is affectionately known as the shed version of a cylinder leakage test, and I'm going to get Dad to explain that. What that actually is. What is a cylinder leakage test?
Well, officially you have a little gauge and a regulator and you check the amount of leakage from the cylinders. But what we want to know is the wind from the combustion chamber coming out of there? So all we're going to do is take the plugs out, lock the engine up at TDC, put some wind down the hole, see if it pushes the water out there.
There you go. Why then are you taking the wheel off?
I need to turn the engine.
And to do that, you need to get underneath.
Yeah, I need to get the crank pulley.
Okay, fair enough. I understand. How's this wheel looking at the back? All good, by the looks of things. Yeah.
It wants a good clean. Not
too bad. It does need a good clean. It's not something I'm panicking about right now. Thankfully, Dad had his locking wheel nut tool. The locking wheel nut tool is in the back of the car. While we've got this off, let's just have a look under here. At the
wants a good clean
hub. The hub does need a good clean, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's all copper slip and just rust.
But it doesn't look like it's been neglected in its life. What I'm going to do is grab one of these, a light. I was going to film with this. Well, we've got ourselves a big, whacking, great big light, but it it makes it flicker, so that's not really great. How's it looking under there? Ooh. What's that you've discovered there?
I don't know. I think the springs have been done. I did them under recall.
Yes, you mentioned that in the last video there was an issue with the springs.
Yeah.
What was the issue with the springs on the Rover 75?
What happened was they broke. I can't remember what we did now. We put something on to stop it happening. The spring used to fly straight down and rip all this lot off.
And straight into the tyre, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it did.
Causing big problems. Let's just get the camera in there.
Yeah, I really can't remember now what happened. I've done that many things in my life. I think we put some sort of plate thing on to stop it happening. You know, so find out from your people who can remember these things.
Yes, if you know what the issue was with springs penetrating tyres, when the fix was, let us know.
The spring was, we changed them because they said there was getting damaged in the production process and causing a corrosion point. I don't know.
But apart from that, let's look at this disc. It looks all right, doesn't it? It's okay.
It's all right, isn't it?
It's all right. Pads?
Pads are like new.
Yeah, excellent. What else can we see? A little bit of corrosion in there, but nothing major, is there? It's all plastic, under try.
All fairly good stuff, isn't it?
So far, so good. Right, Dad's under the car. He's taking off the under tray. Let's have a look under there. Oh yeah, lovely. All plastic. Safety first, of course. Axle stand is going in. While you're doing that, I'm going to get under here and have a look at the sills.
Ah, they're all right.
Well, they look good to me.
It got black painted sills.
It has got black painted sills, and you know why it's got black painted sills. And that is because it is a Cowley car. That's very good, look at that. I am impressed. I am impressed with that. Hello.
Hello. Just nip up and see if she'll jack up a tad more.
Absolutely.
Please. Go on, son. Is that your lot?
That is the lot. That's all you're getting, I'm afraid.
I'll get different bits of wood.
Right, what you got there? Hang on a minute. You've pulled something off the car. Is that the under tray?
Yeah.
It's off. Let's have a look. What can we see?
That should be snipped in the dip. Where should that be?
What is that?
Behind there somewhere, something on a clip.
Is it a temperature sensor?
Yeah.
There we go. That's there. There's a bit of corrosion on that member there, isn't there? That cross member.
Oh,
It's only surface.
your member gets corroded when it gets old. It's all right, my brain's trying to work out which
Bit of
gearbox that
corrosion.
was. It's not the PG1 Honda gearbox, is it?
I don't know.
I forgot now.
You're the blooming Rover expert, mate.
No, get your people on the forum to tell us, is this the Ford gearbox? It's just all my memory's gone now.
It's been filled with Nissan and Renault and other nonsense.
There's a lot of stuff to know on Renaults.
Is there?
Yeah.
What sort of stuff do you need to know on a Renault?
Renaults, you need to know ever so much stuff.
Electrical faults.
Ever so much stuff you need to know on Renaults. It's just I can't remember what this gearbox was.
Well,
I
I've
think
tried to Google it.
I think it's the Ford gearbox.
Yeah, I think you might be right. They did use the Ford gearbox in some versions, so I think you could.
We didn't
be
have as
right.
much trouble with it as we did with the PG1.
I'm sure somebody out there will be able to tell us.
Like I say, on my memory banks, I've...
What did you do with that under tray?
It's around the back, under the car.
Ah, there we go. One thing Dad did point out is there's quite a lot of coolant staining on the under tray, which may be indicative that there has been a coolant leak for quite a while. Have you stolen my light again?
I think you'll find it says PC on it, not JC.
Stands for Proton Cars. So what are you doing now? You've got that.
I'm just
Bar
getting
in
shaped
there.
up to turn the engine over when I need to, mate. Just getting shaped up for it.
Do you think that liner has been cut there?
I can't remember whether they would like it or not, mate. As I say, I took all the stuff and put it somewhere else and put a load of Renault stuff in there.
What a terrible idea.
That would frighten you, running Renaults.
Well, I did think about getting myself a Renault Aventime.
No, I don't want them. You want a Megane. Shaking that ass, Megane. Then you'll learn about electrical problems. They're going to be rare, they are.
What's that?
Meganes. Because
Why?
they'll all die, won't they?
Do you think so?
Yeah, electrical problems will kill them, won't they? People just won't be
Fixing them.
wanting to do it, will they?
Well, it won't be economical, will it? And actually, has the Renault Megane got such a cult following?
It was a damn good car.
Was it?
Handled well. Renault Megane was a good car.
Are you suggesting that a Rover 75 doesn't handle well?
No, it's like a barge, isn't it?
It's like a sofa on wheels, isn't it? Wafty. Wafty goodness. Right, now what we're doing?
I'm going to take this here bit off here, mister.
What's that?
It's the trim panel thing.
Is it? It's just a piece of plastic trim, is it?
Jolly well is, mate.
And what will that allow you to do?
See what's underneath
See
it.
what's going on.
See what's underneath it, mate. Come on, tell me what's under here then, John boy.
I'm hoping it's the spark plugs.
Oh,
Ta-da!
no spark plugs.
What do we got then? What am I looking at?
Ignition coils.
Ah, the ignition coils.
Tell you what they did used to do now I've remembered. ECUs under there, and the plenum drains used to get up, fill full of water and drown the ECUs.
This one's had a new ECU.
Yeah, it used to drown them, it did.
What you're saying is, at some point we're going to be
Make sure
checking out
that's
the
clear,
plenum
yeah.
drains. Yeah.
Leave that loose to remind us.
Well, that's looking all right under there. I'm not seeing oil or crud. Actually, that looks a little bit loose.
Go out the road. Out the road, boy.
Go out the road. That's a good noise, I like that. Does this have any evidence that it's ever been taken apart?
I'm guessing somebody's put some plugs in it sometime in its life, haven't they? I'll be surprised if they haven't, son. Corrosion in that one.
Oh, yes.
Is it missing?
It didn't seem to be missing, no. What would the corrosion suggest?
Poor connection. I just wondered if it'd been missing, mate.
Didn't seem it.
Good.
But again, I am not a Rover 75 connoisseur. Neither's this, it's a club edition.
Been driving long enough to know whether it's missing or not.
Well, it got me back from Preston.
And again, you're the man that drove a flipping smart car on one cylinder for miles.
I have no idea what you're talking about. So the plugs are coming out. How's that one looking?
Oh, it's got
Wow.
expensive plugs in.
It looks clean as anything.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to see what's happening.
What makes you say it's got expensive plugs in?
The iridiums or platinum or whatever.
Oh, right, okay. As opposed to cheap.
Then took the expensive ones out and put cheap ones in. I don't think they've ever been changed though, to be honest with you. Because plugs seem to last for years now.
Would you suggest they're the original plugs?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Really? They're very clean.
This is trouble with coils. We've had no end of trouble with coils.
When you say no end of trouble, what sort of thing?
Misfires. They used to change them. Whether they'd got bad batches of them, but this sort of thing seems to have got better as time's gone on. You could crawl through that one. I reckon these are the original plugs. I really do. But the gaps are as wide as anything. Let's see what the gaps are. Let's just, as a matter of academic, see what that gap is.
Yep.
I reckon they're worn out. That'll be costing you.
What sort of thing will you start to notice when the spark plugs are worn?
Poor fuel economy, misfires, lack of performance, it's all sort of adds up. NLP 10290. I bet some of your people who really know what they're talking about will know what these left the factory with. Well, it's miles too much.
What is it?
47, let's try that. It certainly shouldn't be as much as that. 48 thou. That's over a millimetre. I don't know what it should be. I'm guessing 35, 40 thou. Yeah, look, you can see the worn out. Let's stop wasting valuable time.
Spark plugs. We need some spark plugs.
Yeah.
Is what we've decided.
I reckon they're the originals.
Fine.
Right, Mr. Man, let's see where TDC is.
TDC, for anyone watching, is top dead centre. I know that.
They'll know that. People who are watching this, let's start at number 1, shall we?
So what is that you've got there?
You'll see in a minute. It's magic, this is. It's the thing that screws in the plug hole with an hose on it. That's an hose with an H.
Yeah.
This is magic.
Let's have a look at that then. So that screws in.
This is magic.
That's that. That's that. And that's screwed into the plug hole in number 1. Oh!
Got a whistle on it.
What's that telling me?
It's telling me it's coming up on compression.
That's clever. Did you make that?
Yeah.
How long ago did you make that?
Before this was invented. I'll stick that in there.
What's that you put in there?
I've just got a screwdriver down there. So now I'm watching that come up. She's at TDC on compression, that one is, yeah? Because that, imagine the piston's coming up, both valves are shut, it made that whistle.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Kind of. I'm kind of with you.
Yeah, piston coming
Piston
up.
is at the top.
Yeah, the valves are shut. So
Yeah.
the compression's got to go somewhere.
Yes, it's got to come out of there. But we know that the valve is shut now because it's not compressing anymore.
Well, I felt the last bit with my screwdriver because that one's going to be in the same place
Yes.
as that one.
So you felt down that bolt and you could feel it.
Now we're going to put her in gear. Put it in a fairly high gear.
What gear we put it in?
Fourth.
Fourth?
Yeah. And if I was on a ramp, I should have had the wheels still on because I should be able to do it easy and just dropped it on the floor to stop the engine turning over. Because we need to stop the engine turning over.
How do you plan on doing that now?
Brake pedal depressor.
What have you done there?
I've wedged the brake pedal on.
Why?
I want to stop the engine turning over because she's in gear. With a bit of luck. Then we're going to have to make a noise, I'm afraid.
What's that you've got there?
Regulator.
Ah. Right, you've took the whistle off and you're connecting, what, a pipe to the regulator?
Yeah, to blow wind in the bores.
Now what are you doing?
Putting some water in it.
Your compressor's noisy.
That's because it's old.
Ah, there we go, it stopped. So you put some water in there.
Yep.
We've connected a regulator to the air compressor and connected to your tool that you've created. You've now connected an air line, taken the whistle off, and are now going to let some air in.
Hold on a minute. Is it going anywhere? If I unscrew that, in there the air leaking.
Yep.
Right, so there's air going into that plug hole.
Yes.
And
It doesn't seem to be coming out into the...
So we can listen here. Yeah, there's some going past the rings, but not a lot. We can listen at the exhaust. That means the exhaust valve's shut. I can't hear it in there. This is not really what we're checking for. We're checking the head gasket, aren't we?
Yes.
Because we know it doesn't miss fire. So if I was really concerned, I could listen there.
What was there? Where were you tapping? Oh, right, okay.
See if it's coming past the inlet valves. It's not, is it? All we're interested in is the head gasket, isn't it?
So what you're saying is, cylinder 1
We're just going to go.
is not leaking.
Let's just try this.
So you've connected it directly to the airline.
Yeah.
I can't hear any leaks.
I'm more concerned about it chucking the water out.
What you're telling me is you haven't found any evidence that the head gasket is faulty.
Not on that cylinder.
Good start. So cylinder 1, tested, all good. If the head gasket was faulty at cylinder 1, what would you expect to have heard?
That would have come up, mate. The water level would have come up.
Yes. Would you have physically heard it coming out the block?
I don't think so, but you'd expect it to make that lift.
How high would you expect it to?
It just Because the water's behind, the wind's behind the water, and it'll just push the water out of the tank.
Like a fountain?
No, just go.
Just push it out. Right, now for cylinder 2 then. Same again. Whistle is connected. And you're going to, I'm guessing, turn it over.
So, piston's coming up. Coming up. Up.
So the whistle means it's at the top. And then now you're feeling, I'm guessing.
Well, it tells me which stroke it's on. It tells me it's coming up on compression, not on exhaust.
So you've just manually felt the top of that piston, is that right?
Yes, mate, because that one and that one will be in the same place.
Yes. Okay.
Hang on a minute.
So you've clamped that hose now to the coolant.
Yeah.
What was your rationale behind that?
It might be leading me astray because it'll be coming out that jiggle pin hole, maybe. Just in making sure. Anyway, there's no wind getting out there, is there?
Not that I can hear.
No, mate. Well, you'll see that.
So 2 is good.
I'll be honest with you, I should be really surprised if the head gasket has not gone.
What would make you think that it has?
Because that's stain down the front of the block.
Could it be anything to do with the fact that the engine's cold?
No, it's not really cold, is it? Anyway, let's see.
Right, here comes the whistle. Remember, we're in gear.
Thank you, mate. So remember, these 2 pistons go up and down at the same time, so I'm
Yes.
just checking this one to give me an idea where that one's going to be. I'm disappointed.
Were you expecting to see a failure by now?
Yep.
No, I can hear some air there.
Yeah, well, the bit's got to go past the rings, hasn't it? Yeah. I'll be honest with you, I am a very surprised man.
It's got to be on 4, right?
Probably not. Might not be a problem at all.
What you're saying is the head gasket might be okay.
Well, if it isn't, we're going to have to buy a lottery ticket, aren't we?
So if the head gasket isn't faulty,
Yeah.
what could be the reasoning for it blowing out and overheating? The cap?
Yeah.
And the fact that it wasn't bled properly?
But it was low when you got it, wasn't
It
it?
was.
Let's face it. I cannot believe that the head gasket's not gone. Really cannot believe it. It might be the fact it's cold and it's not going, but I doubt it.
Right, we're in on 4 then.
I'm shocked.
Right, well, what have you discovered? What have you learnt from doing this leakage test?
Well, at this moment in time, the head gasket's not leaking. And I'm really, really, really surprised. And I think we both are, to be honest with you.
Well, I expected the head gasket to be totally knackered. And the reason we know it's not leaking is because you've done this compression test.
That's not a compression test.
A cylinder leakage test. What's the difference?
Well, a compression test wouldn't be much good telling you a small head gasket leak. I absolutely cannot believe it.
Is there a possibility it could be because the engine's cold?
Probably. But all we can do is put a cap on it and run it. Yeah.
Yep.
Because I honestly don't feel as though the head gasket at this moment in time is gone. But the water was low.
Well, the water was non-existent, wasn't it? There was no water in the expansion tank.
Yeah.
Where could it have gone? It's all blown out, hasn't it? Or boiled off.
Yeah, as far as I can see, mate, the head gasket's not gone.
Excellent news. Should we fire it up and get it warm?
But that oil's getting in there somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, let her bleed it first, son. My am is amazed. No, the head gasket's not gone. At this moment in time.
So spark plugs are going back in. We're going to run the engine up, get it warm, and then try the leakage test again. So it's time to bleed the coolant system before we fire it back up again. You're taking the air filter out of the way, are you?
So I can get at that thing so I don't drop it.
It's a bit in the way, isn't it, there? And now we get to see the air filter.
Well, no doubt that'll have been changed. That's easy money.
Well, you say that. It looks all right. It's going to get blown out, but it looks all right. That's an unusual clip. Like a compression clip by the looks of things. Aha! Now this is the bit I can understand. Air filter. There's a bit of rubbish in the airbox. And the filter needs a good blast out, but it's not too bad.
You know what that rubbish is called? A Rover 75. I can get at that now, can't we? What is that rubbish? Oh, it's a Rover 75.
It's not too bad. It's definitely been replaced.
It jolly well has.
So this is the bleed screw here.
Yes, mate. Yeah.
I'm just going to get a light.
Oops, there she goes. She's bled.
So the bleed screw is down there where you're working.
Watch.
Aha! Do it again. So water comes pouring out, basically. And that tells us that there's no airlock in the system, right?
Not just there isn't, dude.
Excellent news. Are there any other places where there could be an airlock?
Yeah, in the heater somewhere. Let's fire the old girl up.
So you said that about the heater. Obviously the heater is very cold.
Yeah.
And doesn't get to temperature.
Very true.
Could that be indicative
Could
of...
there be something wrong with the heater?
There she goes.
That shouldn't be running.
The fan? Why shouldn't it be running?
Because the aircon's not on.
So as you can hear, it's off now. What are you checking for?
See if it...
If it starts pissing water out.
Yeah. This fan business is doing my head in.
It's running quite high, isn't it?
Yeah.
Should the fan be running at all?
Not really.
Should it click like that?
That one does. What's wrong with this? Well, the heater's getting warm, mate. There's something wrong with the heater.
So let's talk about the heater then.
I don't know, mate.
So, is it getting warm in the driver's side and not the passenger side? Because that would be indicative of a heater
The
fan.
fan running is to do with the air conditioning.
Yeah.
So I put it on econ.
This is cold.
Yeah.
So the temperature gauge, upon revving, is dropping. As you can see. There goes the temperature gauge. Which is a bit of a problem. Dropping, dropping, dropping. Any suggestion?
Yeah. Keep working till we know what's wrong with it.
So water is pouring out of that valve now. It's sort of like an expansion valve, isn't it?
It's just overflow, mate.
First thoughts?
First thoughts are the stupidest.
Do you still think the head gasket is okay?
I hate to say it, but I reckon there's something wrong with the heater. Which is worse than an head gasket. That's a worse problem than an head gasket.
So, from reading online, there is a problem with heaters.
Is there?
The heater matrices get blocked.
Right. Makes sense, an old car.
And apparently, drain cleaner is the way forward. Would the heater cause an issue with the cooling system? No. And what would make the temperature needle drop?
Airlock. See that little pipe there? It runs round to the jiggle valve in the manifold. Just lets the air out, if you know what I mean.
Could it be a faulty thermostat?
I'm wondering, son.
Because they do lock open, don't they?
That's where they're supposed to fail, yeah.
So, engine is warm. We're going to do the cylinder leakage test again. What did you just say to me?
There's something more than just even if the head gasket has gone, there's something else wrong.
We're contemplating the thermostat. We're contemplating
Heater matrix.
the heater matrix. Anything else that could have gone?
I'm just hoping it's not a servo problem on the heaters. Working the flaps.
What does that mean?
That means
Faulty flaps.
you need a T4. Should we do that?
What, the cylinder head leakage? Now it's warm?
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you suggest that the block is warm enough now?
Blooming well would, mate.
Right, so take the spark plugs out again. Great times. Get me light again. Winner.
Not the biggest job in the world, is it? Anybody out there want a Rover 75? Come and fetch it today.
This one is problematical, isn't it?
Not really, is it? Not really.
If only I had a Rover 75 technical expert on the team. Oh, hang on a minute.
Not anymore.
Maybe I should buy a Renault Aventime.
If you buy one of them, I shall disown you.
Now, I do like the Renault Aventime.
Thank God they're too expensive for you now then.
Yes, they are very expensive now.
So it's a regular thing, heater matrices, according to the experts, is it?
It is, yes.
Enthusiasts now.
Yes.
Interesting. Is it?
There's the whistle, right in my ear. I could hear some water gurgling.
Could you?
When you were doing that. Yeah.
It probably was gurgling.
Yes.
Through the failed head gasket.
It's not. Well, now let's test that then, because that stain on the front of the block, surely if it's failed.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking.
It'll be wet. And actually, right now,
It's dry.
it's bone dry. Yeah, it is.
Can't argue with that then, mate.
But obviously that is indicative of there still being a fault, isn't there?
Clamp that off, fill that up.
Well, I filled it right to the brim.
All right, mate.
To a point where it went out the
Overflow.
out the overflow.
That'll do us then, son.
So we're back on cylinder 1. This time warm. If anything, the water's draining.
You're going down a bit.
It's going down, yeah. So at the moment, we're still technically none the wiser. Huh? Is it all looking all right?
It might be that this old... But again, probably ain't got enough wind power.
Well, we're going to get my compressor then.
You have a job to get the big one out, wouldn't you?
Wouldn't come out.
All right.
You'd have to get the Black Knight out, and if we get the Black Knight out, then, well, it's the Festival of the Unexceptional.
You should send that back to its own country as a national... It's like the Elgin Marbles, it should go back to...
That's controversial.
Yeah, it should go back to Malaysia.
Stop. Stop talking about controversial issues.
Look,
The Elgin Marbles. We've not finished looking at it yet.
I still feel...
I think that was James Acaster that said that one.
The Black Knight should go back to where it belongs.
New Park Motors crew.
Right, me old
So we're
mate.
testing cylinder 2 again. Are you thinking your compressor isn't up to the job?
Yeah. It's not as vicious as what we're doing on a big garage one, but that got some power. Did you feel that?
It did. It made the engine move as well.
It's winding it up. I can't see for the lights in a stupid place, but
Again, it's going down. Nope.
shouldn't they?
Again, that stain on the front of the block. It's not getting wet again.
It all adds to life's rich tapestry.
Right, number 3, hot. There it is.
Did you top that water up, son?
I did. Do you want to top up again?
That's going somewhere. That's coming out the inlet valve, that is.
Yes. Yes, I can hear that.
The inlet valve's not very sealed on that one.
So, cylinder 3, inlet valve. What does that mean?
It's not sealing 100%, is it?
It's actually quite windy.
I still don't think the head gasket's gone at the moment, dude.
It's not going anywhere, is it?
As far as I can see, at this moment in time,
Yep.
the head gasket's not gone. In my humble opinion.
Well, that's good and bad news. Because there's clearly a fault, right?
Yeah, it lost because it lost water.
Yeah. So,
Can you put the whistle on, please, mate?
the whistle is on. And the Rover train is in the station. Ah. That's really coming out of there, isn't it?
The valve's not 100% sealed, are they?
Is that a problem?
Yeah, she runs all right, doesn't it? As if you took the head off, they'd finish up wanting to do the valves now, knowing that, wouldn't you?
Yes. But what you're saying at the moment is we've done a
You're into
cylinder
ma-
leakage
You're
test,
into major leak on the head gasket.
if any.
Well, there might be a minor leak, because there's a lot more pressure in there when your engine's running than numbing 100 psi from the compressor.
So that's the thing. Do we leave the engine running? Do we just leave the engine running and see what happens? Because we know that there's a fault. We know that the full tank of water emptied itself. Where else could the water go?
I don't know, I wasn't there to see.
No, but in a car, where else could water go? Coolant leak?
Yeah, of course it was leaking. Let's face it, I'm still certain the wrong head gasket's gone, but but there's something else wrong with it because it's not got an airlock, but there's no heater. But I don't think I'm going to check the thermostat.
Yes. Right. So at this time, cylinder leakage test done, cold and hot. No evidence to suggest that the head gasket has actually blown. I'm glad we did that leakage test.
Good.
So in the next video, we're going to explore other options, which is going to be thermostat, heater, and lots of other things. It could be the cap, right?
Oh,
It could be the coolant cap.
easy good.
Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, thumbs up please. If you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do so. But from you, at this stage, head gasket hasn't blown, right?
No, get around them again.
Thanks for watching. Hope you found this useful. Dad doing the cylinder leakage test. I found that useful. I've learnt lots of things today. Hopefully you have too. Take care. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.